Hey Knight, what's up? So I'm doing another reading of story on Wattpad. This one is not a lemon, obviously, if it's going to be in the playlist. So this is chapter 3, and if I have time, possibly 4. So we'll see, and if not, then I'll put another video up later tonight. Of I Landed in the World of Black Butler. Alrighty, to chapter 3. Celine's point of view. I was in the kitchen with Bard, trying to convince him that cooking with a flamethrower was a bad idea, but he wouldn't listen to me. So I left him in the kitchen alone so that he would be the only one yelled at by Sebastian when things go bad. About 6 minutes later, I hear a boom, and then I see smoke coming from the kitchen. Bard comes running out, and he runs over to me with Sebastian hot on his tail. I told you it was a bad idea, and that Sebastian would come to yell at you, I say, once Bard and Sebastian was close to me. Bard grabs me and puts me between himself and Sebastian. Sebastian had stopped walking when he heard what I said. Bard, you shouldn't upset Celine and put her in the way of your problems, Sebastian says before giving him a tight, fake smile. I could feel Bard shudder behind me as he gently pushes me to Sebastian. Celine, save me, Bard whispers before pushing me into Sebastian and running away. Sebastian caught me, and me, not being used to the dresses at this time, got my leg twisted in it and could hear a snap. I let a small cry of pain pass my lips. Sebastian frowns when he hears that, and he picks me up before walking over to a chair. Let me look at your leg. Which one hurts? Sebastian asks. I blush a little as Sebastian lifts up the bottom of the dress. I pull away a little, but Sebastian holds onto my leg, causing me to blush darker. Celine, please, let me take a look at your injured leg. The young master would be unhappy to know I let you go around her without taking care of you, Sebastian says, before giving me another smile that could make me faint. My left ankle hurts, and I might be sprained, not broken, I say. Sebastian nods before he gently takes off my heel before rubbing it. I hiss in pain when he applies too much pressure, and when I do, he stops to look at me with what I might think be worried. I laugh a little out loud when I see him like this. What is so funny, Celine? Sebastian asks as he goes back to looking at my ankle. I had let my laughing stop and looked down at Sebastian. I was just about to tell him, but Seal walks in and looks upset. Once he sees me with Sebastian holding my ankle, he rushes over. Sebastian, what happened? Seal yells before he stops next to me. I put a hand on Seal's shoulder as he reaches out to touch me. Seal, I'm fine. Thank you for your help, Sebastian, but I think I can make it up to my room just fine now, I say before sliding off the other heel. I make my way quickly to my room, and I lay on my bed before letting tears fall from my eyes. I don't know how long I laid there crying, but I snapped out of it when I hear a knock on the door. Celine, are you all right? Finny asks. I sigh and wipe my eyes, removing all signs of tears. Come in, Finny, I say. Finny comes in and looks around. When he sees me laying in bed, he walks over to me. Bard said he left you with Sebastian, and he didn't see you again after Sebastian started to yell at him for hurting you and setting the kitchen on fire. I wanted to make sure you were better, Finny says as he reaches for me. I flinch away from him and regret it because of the look of hurt on his face. Don't feel bad, Finny. I just don't like to be touched when I'm hurt, I say as I look at the ground. I feel the bed dip as Finny sits by me on the bed. I'm all right, Finny. You should go do your job, and when I'm ready, I'll come down and let you know, I say. Finny gives me a big, goofy grin before nodding his head and running away to do his job. I lay back down on my bed after wrapping my hurt ankle to make the pain dull a little before I fall asleep. I'm woken up to cold hands touching me, and I sit up ready to punch whoever was touching me. When I notice it's Sebastian, I stop my arm and stare at him with wide eyes. What are you doing up here? I ask. Sebastian smiles at me, and I start to breathe harder because he could cause me to faint, which I did. Sebastian's point of view. Celine was asleep on her bed when I went to check on her. The young master had yelled for quite a while before setting me to punish Bard and check on Celine. I wanted to know what she was going to tell me before the young master had so rudely interrupted our talk. She was thrashing about in her sleep, so I pulled off my glove and put my cold hands on her ankle to make the pain leave. She sits up looking confused and pulls back her arm as if to hit me. Her arm stops before her eyes widen. What are you doing up here? Celine asks. I smile and hear her breathing come off, and she faints. I sigh before taking a better look at her ankle, which she has done something to that I didn't recognize. I look it over and notice that it was just some cloth that she had wrapped around her ankle, and I noticed the swelling that should be there wasn't. So she had some knowledge on tweeting. Yes, I'm going on Twitter and I'm going to go tweet about wounds. So she had some knowledge on treating wounds, which makes me wonder and wanted to know more about her. Seeing as how she had fainted and I didn't know how long until she would wake, I got out her diary to read more about her. I hear the young master call me, and she was still asleep, so I leave to go take care of him, taking her diary with me. I walked quickly to my young master's study, head straight over to his desk. How is Celine? Seal asks. I let out a small sigh and set her diary on the table in front of him. She's better, my young master. I think this book will help us to understand her better, I say before pointing at the book. Seal picks it up and begins to read through it. For some reason, him reading through that book makes me mad, and I didn't understand the feeling. Sebastian, why did you pull that book out of my hands? Seal asks. I look down at him and then notice the book now in my hands, closed, keeping it away from my young master. I'm sorry, young master. I don't know why I did that, I say as a confused look spreads across my face. Do you feel the need to protect her like you do me? Seal asks before sipping his tea. I shake my head a little. I'm not sure. I have this feeling that I need to keep her safe and happy. I've never felt like this before, I say. Seal smiles and stands. Take that back to where it belongs and then go start dinner, Seal says. I bow and walk back to Celine's room. She was still asleep, and I put the book back where I found it before heading down to the kitchen. As I work on dinner, I think over all the things that have changed since Celine had entered our lives. She kept Finny from messing up in the garden, told Bart off for not cooking the right way, entertains the young master, and made me feel odd things I had never felt before. Celine's point of view. I wake up to find myself alone in my room and give a small sigh of relief. I change out of the dress I was wearing into my normal clothes, skinny jeans and a t-shirt. Yes! Perfect outfits! Yes! Skinny jeans! Yes! Sorry. Total spaz attack right there over skinny jeans and a t-shirt. I had slipped on my running shoes before leaving my room to go get something to eat. I head to the kitchen and wasn't surprised to hear Bard complaining about not being able to cook and Sebastian telling him to get out. Bard walks out of the kitchen and right into me, which knocks me over, jarring my already injured ankle. I don't make a noise as I hit the ground. When I look at my hand, I can see the blood, and Sebastian comes running out of the kitchen because Bard was yelling about me being in his way. Sebastian pulls me up, and once he sees the blood, turns to Bard. Bard, this is the second time today that you have hurt Celine. Don't you think you should tell her you're sorry and offer to help her in some way? Sebastian asks in a cold tone. I couldn't help but shiver at the deadly tone Sebastian was talking in. Bard finally looks at me with confusion, but it disappears when he realizes it's me he ran into. Sorry about hurting you, Celine. Is there anything I can do to help you? Bard asks. I shake my head no and pull myself away from Sebastian. It's fine, Bard. Things like this happen. I was coming down to get something to eat, but I think I'm going to go back to bed, I say before I turn and start limping away. I feel strong hands on my hip, and I turn my head enough to see Sebastian holding me in place. Did Bard hurt your ankle again? Sebastian asks. Bard had wisely run away because of his fear of angering Sebastian more or fear of hurting me again. It's fine. You know, for an uncaring demon, you seem to care a lot about what happens to me, I say as I try to walk away from him. Stop trying to walk away from me. You're hurt. To tell the truth, I don't know why I care so much about you, but... Now I'll take you to the young master's study where you will stay until I come to take both of you to dinner. Am I understood? Sebastian said. I nod my head and let him pick me up and take me to Seal's study. Seal was surprised to see me being carried into his study. Celine, is everything all right? Seal asks as Sebastian sets me down in a chair across from Seal's desk. Fine. Bard bumped into me and I cut my hand when I fell, but other than that, I'm fine. Sebastian insisted on carrying me here, I say. Sebastian chuckles as he quickly bandages my hand before he gives a small bow, then leaves. Once Sebastian was gone, Seal gets up from his desk and walks over to me. Celine, what is that you are wearing? Seal asks as he sits on the arm of my chair. I sigh a little and look around the room, not wanting to look at Seal. My normal clothes. I wear this every day, I say. Seal frowns a little bit, but doesn't say or do anything, because he doesn't trust me yet. You're very odd. Did you know that? Seal finally says after about 10 minutes of silence. I giggle a little and give Seal a big smile. That's not the worst thing I've been called, so thanks. Now, Seal, I want to ask you if it would be all right if I dressed as a man when you have guest overs, I say. Seal frowns in return Seal's frown returns, and he was just about to say something when Sebastian walks in. Dinner is ready, young master. I'll carry Celine down because Bard hurt her ankle again when he knocked her over, Sebastian says as he walks over to us. Seal nods and moves so Sebastian can carry me. As we walk, Seal still has a frown and was more than likely thinking over what I had just asked him. I suppose your request would be a good idea, but I don't like the thought of you dressed as a man, Seal says. Sebastian's grip tightens on me, and it hurt my leg a little. I let a small hiss of pain escape, and Sebastian loosened his grip. As we eat, Seal talks to me about how it would be a bad idea for me to be dressed as a man. Once we were done and Sebastian was busy cleaning up for dinner, I make my way up to my room without getting caught by Sebastian or Seal to question me. I grab things for a bath, hoping the warm water will help relax the muscles in my ankle to help it heal. I was in the bath when I hear the door to my room open. Celine? Seal asks. I give a little sigh, but then remember that I'm in the bath with no bubbles to cover anything. I don't want Seal or Sebastian or any other man to see. I'm in the bath, Seal. Is there something you need from me? I yell. I hear the bathroom door open and turn to see Sebastian with a blindfold on and his hand over Seal's eyes. Celine, we really must talk about you and where you come from, Seal says in a demanding tone. I sink lower in the tub, trying to keep them from seeing anything, even though they were blindfolded. Get out, please. Once I'm done, we can talk, I say. Seal nods and turns around before leaving. Sebastian, help Celine out the best you can, Seal says before smirking at me. Sebastian gives a smile that I turn away from before I faint. I was uncomfortable because Sebastian stayed with me in the bathroom as I sat in the tub. I sigh after 5 minutes of it and look around. Leave, Sebastian. I can't get out if you're in here, and the water's starting to get cold, I say. Sebastian smirks and turns his head back to me. My lady, I can't leave you because my young master ordered me to help you out the best I can, Sebastian says. I could still see his smirk and would do anything to get it to turn into a real smile. Yes, I had a giant crush on Sebastian, who doesn't, and I was surprised to hear him say that he cared about me. I get out of the tub quickly and but in my haste, slipped on the wet floor and could feel my body slam into the side of the tub. I let out an ear-piercing scream and could care less if Sebastian sees me naked now. I feel a towel around me and look up into Sebastian's amazing crimson eyes. He picks me up and carries me out to the bed where Seal was waiting. His eyes widen when he sees me before a blush spreads across his face. What happened? Seal demands. I was in too much pain to answer, and before Sebastian could say anything, my bedroom door slams open to reveal the 3 servants who all had worried looks on their faces. Finny runs over and looks fearful at me. Celine, are you all right? Finny cries. Yes, he was really crying over me, and it made my heart break, but I couldn't talk. She slipped getting out of the bathtub and hit the side of it. I haven't looked to see if anything is broken yet, Sebastian says as he lays me on the bed. I tried to push back the pain so I could tell where it was coming from, but I soon realized where. My ankle was throbbing, and I was afraid I had broken it. Sebastian, my ankle, I moan in pain. He nods his head before his hands gently touch it. I let out another scream just from his fingers gently brushing over the skin. Seal gets them out of the room, so it's just the 3 of us. Sebastian, fix her up the best you can. If you need to go call Madame Red, Sebastian, fix her up the best you can. If you need to go call Madame Red, Seal says. Sebastian nods before taking off his gloves and gently touching my ankle. I was in so much pain that I faint. When I get up, there was bandages wrapped around my ankle, and I noticed there was someone sitting by my bed. I looked over to see Sebastian, who had a worried look. Sebastian, is everything all right? I rasped. My throat was dry and felt like sandpaper. Sebastian gets up and comes over with a cup in his hands. Drink this, then I'll get you something for the pain, Sebastian says. I nod and take the cup before drinking it greedily. Sebastian gives me something awful tasting before letting me eat something sweet to take away the taste. You'll I can't talk when I'm reading, obviously. You will be bedridden for a few days. By that time, the young master will have guests coming over, so you will have to keep out of sight. Your ankle isn't broken, but the young master and I would feel better if you didn't walk around on it, Sebastian says. And I nod before falling back to sleep, but not before I feel Sebastian's lips on my forehead. Aww. Aww, so cute. Okay, I will post another video tonight of chapter 4, so until then, nights. Peace out.